It is a dark time. It is the year 2012. Jenny McRae starts the insanity, and it's joined in by others. This was Atheism Plus. The idea that we need to move on beyond just non belief and address other things. Now, some of these things sound good, like critical thinking and skepticism, but some don't sound so good, like social justice, feminism. I'm okay with anti racism and combating homophobia and transphobia. What? Why? Uh, you need to focus in, don't you? Oh, it exploded. It's dead now and remains dead. Good riddance. Thunderfoot was a big proponent against it. And so on Rational Wiki, he's listed as an asshole because that's a great argument. Who writes this thing anyway? So we are Atheist Plus. We care about social justice. We are Atheist Plus. We support women's rights. We're Atheist Plus. We protest racism. Plus, we fight homophobia, transphobia. Plus, we use critical thinking and skepticism. I don't know about those last two because you're. So, this movement was pretty big and got righteous fire and indignation thrown at it, and there was a lot of insanity that happened. There's a whole history. PZ Myers was part of it, I guess, and yeah, there was just all sorts of craziness that happened, and finally it died in fire, as it should. Atheist, in and of itself, is more than enough to focus on. Religion is a very dangerous thing that this world has to contend with. Sure, you can use it for good, but sadly, it's usually not used for good or as much good as it could be. So we need to promote religions that are peaceful, actually peaceful, and or ideologies that are peaceful or benevolent, and we need to demote religions that aren't. By creating an Atheism Plus, there was a rift in the atheist quote community quote. And some went towards Atheism Plus and others did not. The reasonable ones didn't. And I say reasonable because once you saw the insanity that Atheism Plus truly became, it was clear to those on the outside looking in that their idea to uphold critical thinking and skepticism went right out the window, and it became about feminism. And that's it. Well, maybe in social justice, because these were the original social justice warriors, after all. So now, with that long dead, and nobody debates Atheism Plus, and nobody makes videos about it because it's gone. Feminism, as well, was attacked for quite some time by prominent atheist YouTubers after it became kind of tired of talking about Christianity. But that kind of faded into obscurity. There wasn't really a point. Everything that needed to be said was said. So they went back to talking about atheism. And some branched off into other topics that are not related at all. But of course, feminism and SJWism and NPCism and all the other ideologies that are out there continue to exist just without a label. And it's no surprise to me to see this make a comeback in what I'm calling Atheism Plus v2.0. This is the divide between those that will say boo to any and all YouTubers, especially the big ones, that say anything that is wrong think. If you say something that is slightly incorrect and that incorrect thing hurts or can be perceived to hurt a minority group, you are vile and evil, deserve to be ridiculed and slammed repeatedly, denounced, censored, etc. I really wish for Satan atheists at times like these to come in and make fun of the whole thing so we can all laugh at it. It's funny because Satan atheist himself got Dawkins deplatformed back in the day because Dawkins dared to retweet a Satan video, and that upset the snowflakes out there, so they deplatformed him. Wah, wah. Because critical thinking, what's that? And now you have people saying, well, you didn't do this research enough, so you're this phobia or that phobia. And people are insulting rather than critiquing. Hey, this is what you got wrong about the science. Okay. Or this is what you missed about that. Oh, okay. Let me fix that. That's it. That's all you need to do. There's no need to call people names. Is that really going to change their mind? Oh, you're a racist. Wow. I never considered that before. My life is forever changed. I better stop being a racist. Intersectionality, feminism, social justice, these are things to avoid in my view. I see nothing good coming from them. Many of their ideas are based on a big giant nothing sandwich. Some of the things that they say seem good at first glance, but aren't. I've looked into it. I find it wanting as an ideology, and I don't want anything to do with it. The only ideology I want to continue to hold to is logic and reason. And there isn't any logical argument that I've seen people make for these ideas. Aspects within it of the idea, subsets, perhaps, but the ideology in whole, no, I haven't seen it. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just haven't seen it, and if somebody thinks it's out there, then they have to give me that. I'm not going to go looking for it. But we have people saying, well, these so-called skeptics, they don't get it, they don't understand, especially with the transgender thing, because this is still a hot button topic, I suppose. Uh, People don't know really what to make of it or what to think of it. It's still new. You know, there's a lot of different people that don't know what to do with the language in and of itself. And I, of course, am on the side of having some sort of negotiation and compromise rather than it all has to be this one way and that's it, or it has to be this other way and that's it. And it's like, well, why don't we compromise somewhere? And it's like, well, because of feelings. I'm like, that's not an argument. I don't care about that. You need an actual argument, not just feelings. Feelings, who cares? Everybody has feelings. So, with the rationality rules and here's somebody that got you know disavowed because he had a video up that was up a while ago that some say had incorrect science in it, and maybe it did. I don't know. The rebuttal should be, well, here's the correct science, and we hope that he fixes that. And if he doesn't, then maybe taking action would be appropriate. Maybe say, well, how long would it take you to fix this? Here's the information we have, and we're going to help you to do that because we want uh, the correct stuff to be out there. Oh, that would be civil. That would make sense. No, we can't do that. He's wrong. So he needs to be blacklisted and such. And he deserved it. And King Crocodile deserves it because he should know better. His analogy was bad. No. I talked to a big YouTuber on Twitter. I'm not going to say who, but they revealed something to me that I found very disheartening. That they tried to get people to be civil, and it didn't work, and they kind of gave up on it, and now just are doing what they do to continue to survive on YouTube until eventually they'll get shut down. They predict that they will be shut down at some point, and they'll lose their job being a YouTuber at some point because the politics is just headed in that way. That's a scary thought, but it's even scarier that they gave up. I'm not gonna give up. I will not give up on reason and trying to reason with people. A long time ago, when I was being reasonable and say, hey, look, this person versus that. What about this? And people were saying, oh, you're the voice of reason and all this kind of great stuff. And the comments have kind of dried up. My views have dropped. Uh, the old guard is missing in action. I wonder where all the atheists and skeptics are that used to be around my stuff. And it's like, I could use them now, see whose side we're all on. Isn't that a shame, though, to have sides? You're on this side or that. You're either in that group or you're not in that group. And I'd rather just be in the group that upholds logic and reason and skepticism and atheism, and to promote those things to the best of my ability, to teach logic in my own unique way, to do what I've been doing. And whenever I brush up against one of these things where people flip out and go nuts, I think that the response is not to care. Okay, you got upset. Moving on. I got a couple of comments on my last live show about, how dare I, it's like, how dare you ask for these requirements for your spiritual test? It's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're telling me to test this thing, and it's not even a test yet. So religious people get very upset when we challenge them on their religion. When you are challenged with whatever it is you think is true, even if you think you have the science on your side, and you might, if you respond in the same knee-jerk reaction as the religious do, well, then you're no better. And I think we need to try to be better, myself, of course, included. We must strive to be reasonable. And that means not being part of Atheism 2.0, Atheism Plus 2.0, whatever you want to label this insanity as. I don't know. I'm all for equal rights of everybody, and that should go without saying. But I do think that there's questions that people have that should be addressed and answered, and we should do so in a civil manner without going ballistic about it. Because a lot of people have a lot of concerns, and if we can't voice those concerns and talk about them openly and honestly, well, that will just lead to problems. Because when people can't be civil in discussion, then what's left? Physical force? Violence? That's the exact thing that you want to avoid, hypothetically speaking. So if you really do want people to have equality and things like this, then discussion needs to happen. And we must not insult, but instead help each other to understand. Unless and until we have logically coherent argument, we should be skeptical of the conclusions. Except for this whole talk, I had a logical argument in there somewhere, and